Watch and burn.
Hey everyone, so tonight I want to talk about the Tuss's, this is the Tuss's only release, and this was apparently written and recorded and produced by a girl by the name of Karen Tregaskin, if memory serves, but Karen is actually Richard James, otherwise known as Aphex Twin and Caustic Window and Polygon Window and AFX and a bunch of other names. And you could hear the Aphex Twin sound. It's absolutely prevalent through all 6 tracks on this release. Now, there were technically 2 releases for this. There was the original release on vinyl that I was able to steal from an ex-girlfriend of mine after we broke up. And the cool thing about the vinyl release is the vinyl comes on 3 separate actual albums, and there's 1 track on each side of the 3, totaling the 6. And I believe too, if memory serves, everything was at 45s because everything was a little on the small side. Unfortunately, I no longer have the vinyl. I ended up trading for another record a ways back with somebody that I went to school with, and I kind of regret that because I still have the CD, which is cool. I absolutely love how the CD is printed. It's like Richard D. James is the master of releasing the cheapest like physical releases ever without coming off as being cheap. Because I always found Danzig was really cheap with his physical releases too, but with RDJ, there's always like that sense of art there. Like this is certainly no exception. The jewel case is completely bare except for a tiny sticker at the top of the front that says it was produced by Karen Tregaskin or whatever, and this is the Tuss, the Rushup edge, yada yada yada. And then the exact same sticker is printed like lopsided on the actual disc itself, and it only takes up about that much of the disc and that much of the jewel case, and then everything else is completely bare. So on one hand, it's really smart for James to do this because from a financial standpoint, he saves a lot of money. And on the flip side, he's a really clever guy, so everything he does comes off as having some deeper artistic meaning. And I absolutely love the artwork for this, and I'm no exception there. I absolutely buy into this every time. I love how creatively cheap he can be without coming off like he's trying to penny pinch. And now the tracks on here, they're massive sounding. There's a lot of acid worked in. My favorite, of course, is I think everybody's favorite, which is track 4, Rushup, Bank 12. And even though I will argue every single song on here is really strong, and together they play really well. This record isn't particularly long. It's a little over a half an hour, so it doesn't take up too much of your time, and it's easy to get lost in. You couple that with the clever artwork and how all of the songs seem to blend seamlessly with one another, and it's not hard to fall in love with this record. This was, of course, released by Reflex, and Reflex, there's a label, it's RDJ's label that has released so many like important records as far as the whole IDM movement is concerned. And as of 2022, finding a lot of these, especially the earlier ones, the Caustic Window, like the Joyrexes, they're not the easiest. And if you do manage to track them down, they're going to cost you an arm and a leg and probably a liver in order for you to fully afford them. But that's to be expected considering the level of mysterious fame and status that Richard D. James has. All of his releases, they're hard to find once they're out of print. They rarely ever get re-released, and I think the Tuss is certainly no exception there. This record will most likely never see the light of day again. You'll have to track it down. However, I doubt there will ever be a re-release for this. But this record is absolutely flawless sounding. Every single track, like I said, plays off of each other really well. It comes and goes. It doesn't take up too much time. It doesn't overstay its welcome. And each song on here is a lot of fun. So I think I'm going to go. So thank you so much for hanging out with me for a few minutes while I discussed the Tuss's Rushup Edge. If you liked this review, don't forget to do something nice for somebody. Have a good night. I just wanted to say thank you for making it through the entire video. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to remind everyone one more time, even though I've probably already done this in the video that you just watched, to please click the like button as well as the subscribe button because it helps this channel grow. And thank you for hitting like and subscribe, and we will see you guys really soon.